Ambient music can be a lot of things. I describe it as limitless within limits. Now that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but think about it. It can be expansive and huge. It can be small and granular. It can be insightful, meandering, relaxing. It can also be really boring, all sounding the same. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I want to bring up a few problems that I think creators, including myself, can run into when writing ambient pieces and offer up some solutions to those problems. Hi, I'm Ryan from Ambient. As always, this video is timestamped, so feel free to jump to whatever section you want. The first reason ambient music ends up sounding the same is that a lot of people, without really meaning to, reduce the entire genre down to one sound. And you know the sound I'm talking about. You grab your favorite synth, set up a pad, run it through your favorite reverb with some shimmer, and drone out for like 10 to 15 minutes. It's really pretty, it's comforting, it's easy, it's fun to make, and it's everywhere. And because that pad plus reverb combo is so easy to reach for, it becomes sort of the default starting point for almost everyone who tries to make ambient for the first time. Which means we all start from the same place, and when thousands of people start from the same place, it's not surprising that a lot of the final results end up feeling interchangeable. Not to mention that if you consistently start from that place, your tracks will all start to sound really similar to each other as well. But the funny thing is, the ambient genre is massive. There are so many different branches and approaches inside the genre. You go from someone like Carolise Coverdale, sorry about the pronunciation, who blends these hyper-detailed harmonies with digital textures, to Alaskan Tapes, who leans towards minimalist piano, modern classical with cinematic pacing, to artists like One Heart, who seem to blend electronic soundscapes with melodies that seem to fester in a good way. While these artists and a bunch more can technically fall under ambient, none of them really sound the same. So the sameness doesn't come from the genre. It comes from how narrowly we tend to approach it. It's also worth noting that all those artists have tracks that may not fall into the ambient genre fully, and that's okay. Ambient music doesn't have to be exclusively written by ambient artists. Artists like Nils Fromm, Max Richter, Hildur, who might be considered minimalist or neoclassical, all use ambient elements in their music. So even if you aren't strictly an ambient artist, I'm hoping that the things I talk about today can help you understand the principles of ambient and the way you want to include them in your music. Anyways, the trick to getting around this, and when thousands of people start from the same place, it's not surprising that a lot of the final results end up feeling interchangeable, is pretty simple. Give the listener something more than one thing to pay attention to. Since you can't make a video about ambient music without bringing up Brian Eno, Eno once said that ambient music should accommodate many levels of listening attention without enforcing one in particular. Now, I really like that quote, and I think it's an awesome way to think about this. If ambient is supposed to allow different kinds of listening, then we should probably include different kinds of details for the ear to gravitate towards. That's not to mean that you should be adding complex harmonies or a strong melody that carries a piece. It's just to say that you can add little things, bits of texture, tiny contrasts, things that come in and fade out, things that pull the ear in different directions. It could be a soft noise bed under a pad, a clicky or grainy texture way in the background, a little stereo motion that slowly drifts, a moment of dryness before everything sort of washes back out, a harmonic or timbral shift that's almost too subtle to notice. Done right, these can create depth and variety without breaking the calm because they give the listener so much to focus on. Another problem, the one that I probably face the most, is letting melody become the focus. Centuries of Western music has taught us to treat melody as the main character. It carries the emotional arc of the piece or the song. Everything else is there to support the melody. Think of any pop song that you want. The melody is the star. It's usually the main vocal line. Everything else in the track, the guitars, the keys, the bass, the drums, they all work together to support the main element, the melody. And classical music is largely the same, just with different instruments. Now, ambient music can absolutely involve melody, but the trick is to keep it minimal, interesting, but not dominating. Not let it carry the emotional arc, at least not alone. do that, you can avoid cadences that seem obvious, keep the melody's range more narrow, no big leaps or jumps, have it fade in and out so it's clear that it's not the primary focus, and let it blend into the environment instead of right on top of it. Another struggle that I think a lot of people can fall victim to is that their tracks may not evolve enough. This can happen with that spacey atmospheric ambient and also with minimal loop-based ambient, and it's actually kind of a tricky one. How do you develop something that's supposed to blend or have a melody evolve without dominating? If you keep a track the same level of calm, it can become static, which I know it's ambient, but static in a lifeless way. It's a pretty thin line to straddle. Thin line to straddle. Tightrope to walk? It's tricky, but it's not too complicated if you just get down to a few things. I'll start with the one I've historically struggled with the most, and that is being okay with letting the track get longer in order to let the changes land the way you want them to. When I first started writing ambient music, I had a real struggle with letting a piece just sit. I was always trying to make it climax. It was hard for me to let small changes have big impacts because I was used to trying to write these big emotional peaks and valleys. But just being able to sit and let a piece breathe gives you the opportunity to let a filter cut off at like 10% have a massive impact, or having the reverb duck out for a few bars to slowly reemerge can be just as impactful. Adding a new texture briefly to then just pull it back out, or creating two similar different textures and have them pan past each other, play with the space. All of these subtle changes are what give this genre life. It's what keeps your ear interested. I was watching an interview with the high holy Brian Eno. He once said one of his approaches when he's working on a piece or when he's finished with it, he'll let it play and he'll go into the other room and read or do something else, and it gives him insights on what needs to change about the piece. I think that's a great strategy for ambient music because if it's supposed to be as interesting as it is ignorable, another Eno quote, carrying out different tasks while it's on can give you insights on what works and maybe what doesn't. Maybe a filter sweep that sounds great in the mix when you're working on it at a computer sticks out like a sore thumb when you're reading. I think this genre can seem limited, but it just seems that way because our approach to it can be limited. Understanding that ambient music can be a lot of different sounding things, all with sort of the same underlying principles, can really expand the way that we approach it. Those small choices that you make are what create the uniqueness in your particular version of it. I hope you found this useful. I'd love to know what some of your struggles are with writing ambient music and some of your workarounds. Sharing this stuff can be really helpful for people just starting out and also give those seasoned composers some new perspectives. So leave them down in the comments. I think that ambient gets a bad rap for being boring because the people that think it is try to make it fit where it doesn't quite belong. I'm not playing Metallica at a funeral service. I'm also not playing Eno on a road trip to Vegas. I mean, I might, but you get it. If you're still here, I appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.